the NAACP's board of directors has issued a travel warning about Florida that accuses the state and pointedly Governor Ron DeSantis of being openly hostile towards African Americans, people of color, and LGBTQ plus individuals, which is very clearly true. But the Huffington Post reported that before traveling to Florida, please understand that the state of Florida devalues and marginalizes the contributions of and the challenges faced by African Americans and other communities of color, which was what the notice stated. Now, the NAACP specifically accused Ron DeSantis of aggressively attempting to erase Black history and restrict DEI programs in Florida schools. We've seen the legislation that's being passed there is definitely done. Huffington Post reported that under DeSantis's leadership, the state has placed restrictions on how racism and other aspects of history can legally be taught in schools. He's a free speech champion, by the way, as well as workplaces. His Stop Woke Act, signed into law in 2022, is currently being challenged in court. DeSantis has also passed legislation that expands the state's ability to restrict books in public schools, resulting in the removal of books about race and LGBTQ plus identities. Now, the NAACP has previously issued travel warnings. They did so in 2017 for people who were planning to visit Missouri. And they're far and away not the first group to issue this type of warning. Equality Florida issued an advisory after DeSantis signed the Don't Say Gay bill into law, according to CBS News. That law, along with additional proposals being considered, has turned the state's classrooms into political battlefields and is telegraphing to LGBTQ families and students that they are not welcome in Florida, the group said at the time, which is funny because Ron DeSantis just said he loves everybody and they care about all life in Florida. But the article continued, the League of United Latin American Citizens Advisory cited strict Florida laws dealing with immigrants. Organization President Domingo Garcia called the new immigration laws hostile and dangerous, saying they presented a clear and present danger to Latinos. Florida is a dangerous, hostile environment for law-abiding Americans and immigrants, Garcia said. I mean, I'm terrified at the prospect of Ron DeSantis being the president. I still don't think he is going to get the nomination over Trump. I think that he has shown that he's not politically savvy enough in his politicking. He's been effective at passing horrendous legislation, but he hasn't been able to sort of brush off Trump's attacks on him. And he was called Meatball Ron. He cried about how it was racist, right? And Trump's new attack on him is heavily insinuating that he's a pedophile, and Ron DeSantis has no response. I just don't think that he's, in a good position to run against Trump and win, which I think is a good thing for America. What's your opinion on this?
No, I absolutely agree with that. I think we've talked about this before. I mean, yay, it's announcement week for Ron DeSantis. Again, your record is a pile of ashes and a bunch of people who do not want to live in your state anymore. I mean, for me, I think what's interesting about the travel advisory is that there are people who are born and raised in Florida, who are Black, who are Latino, who don't have the means or the desire to move from Florida. And they have a governor who's decided that this is the state where woke goes to die. And woke is a euphemism for people of color, for LGBTQ plus folks, right? Like, this is basically putting a bounty on folks' neck and on their backs. And so it's just interesting because you're like, yeah, the folks who are really at risk are not the ones who are visiting. The ones who are at risk are the ones who have to be, schooled in a Florida public school. And the other thing I'll say in terms of Latinos, and I think this is really a huge advance, is I believe there has been a call out for Latino truck drivers to boycott the state of Florida in terms of not delivering there. Now, the practicality and how that will play out, I don't know. Again, one cannot do this alone. It has to be an effort, has to be a union effort. So who knows what's going on in terms of Teamsters and whatnot. But I think that has a real possibility to trickle down to the actual voters. The Disney stuff is interesting, but again, it's just kind of like oligarch versus oligarch, right? And I also think that that's why he's not currying any favors, because folks don't care. They don't care. They're not gonna boycott Disney. It's literally like the one vacation they can take every year for 3 days. before they have to get woo back on the job,
Right, especially for people who live in the state of Florida. Like that's the close vacation spot and your kids are gonna hate you forever if you're not taking them there.
Absolutely.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.